And today I'm going to show you how I use Mushy Mushy to make teamwork with audio files just a ton smarter and simpler than it has ever been in the past. So I do a lot of public speaking. That means I work with audio a lot. Today I've got an audio from a media appearance I did recently. It's about 15 minutes long. And whenever I manage to create really good content like this, there's a ton of stuff I then want to do with it. I want to tweet out a short snippet. I probably want to put a longer snippet onto LinkedIn. I'm a writer, of course, so I'm always trying to save the good chunks of audio for my next book project, capture ideas for my next speech or my next essay. I've also got this lovely assistant, Ernesto, who helps me with all of that. And so, for me, working with audio, my workflow, desktop gets really crowded. I have a ton of back and forth because, frankly, audio is clumsy. And here's how it typically might go. I will start marking up a note to Ernesto and just collecting comments on this piece, things that I know we want to do. And I have to give a timestamp and then what I think about that timestamp. And I try to be somewhat precise, but it's not perfect. And basically, I've got a choice to make, which is I can spend a lot of time right now and try to get all the details of this markup precise. Or Ernesto and I can spend a lot of time later getting those details precise. But either way, it's going to be a lot of time. And I'm always going to have this nagging feeling that, there is this black box of an audio file over here that has gems of content that are just trapped inside it. Because frankly, there's just no efficient way to mine them all out of there. But with Mushy Mushy, I don't have to make that trade-off anymore. So let me show you how that works. Okay, and here is my Mushy Mushy studio. And as you can see, I've already got a playlist in my studio called Media Appearances. So step one for me is simply going to be to import that latest media appearance as a new track. I'm going to add it to my media playlist, and we're going to call it, going to be pretty uncreative, media appearance. Look for the file and add our track. Okay, now this is how teamwork with audio should be, right? My media file, that black box, we've opened it up. We've unpacked it into a visual sound space. And now I can navigate it however I want. I can do some fine scrubbing in this top waveform, about the first minute or so of the file. Or for longer files like mine, this interview is 15, 16 minutes long. I can also do some fast scrubbing in this bottom waveform. But for the moment, let's start at the beginning. And the first thing I'm going to do, having created this sound space, is I'm going to invite Ernesto into it. So I've done that. That invitation is sent off to him. And now, whenever I send Ernesto comments, it's like we've unspooled the audio. We've laid it on a table in front of us, and we can each point to exactly what we mean. So let's say I'm playing this, I'm reviewing it, and right here at the beginning of the interview, I drop a brilliant quotation, if I do say so myself. I've got a little hashtag system so I can find these later when I search for them. I'm just going to tag this snippet of a quotation, and I'm never going to lose track of that quote again. It's such a good feeling. Later on, I'm listening. Maybe there's a longer segment here, and I think, this argument actually, could be a great argument to reuse in chapter 9 of my book. Ernesto, what do you think? Right? And there's no question about what I'm talking about. There's no question what this means. He knows exactly what I mean because it's tagged directly to the audio. And the more I use this, the more I find that, it opens up a lot of possibilities. Here there was an exchange with the interviewer that it went pretty rough. And if I were a media coach coaching a client, here's where I would highlight a teachable moment and make a comment along the lines of, notice how your voice suddenly became tighter here? right? Really specific, moment-perfect feedback that is so valuable to help accelerate learning. But here, for example, oh, this section, my reply, this went great. And that same media coach might comment, excellent, just like we taught, don't accept the premise of the question. First rule in media coaching, right? And over here, this is something for Twitter. And Ernesto, can you put it up? I think it's great. And save that. The other great feature here is that we've got a tab for notations. There's also a tab for notes. So if I want to make a global note about this interview, this interview was conducted on date by interviewer, and the key topic was COVID-19. Anyway, you get the picture. Here we are working with audio, but Ernesto can see exactly what I mean. And I can open up this black box of a media file, I turn it into its own SoundSpace, and I can tag as many specific moments that I want, so I never lose track of a moment that matters again. It makes my teamwork a lot faster. It makes coaching a lot more specific and learning faster. It makes, for me, creating my next piece of content a lot faster. And I also know that with every file that I bring into this SoundSpace, I'm only increasing my library of content that I'm going to do all sorts of fun stuff with for fun and for profit. So this is Mushi Mushi. And it's just version 1, but try it. Just try giving your audio some more space, and you'll immediately find valuable ways that you can use that space.